Hello everyone, today I will explain 5 technical questions from the CCNA exam. Let's start with the first question. The first question asks, if we want to send data from this router ROM to a host, and this data packet is destined for that host, then to which router should the data be sent? Here we have 4 routers, 1, 2, 3, and 4. For this question, we need to look at the routing table. A routing table is provided below. According to the destination address, this destination address 10.1. 13.165 will look for the most specific longest prefix match in the routing table, which matches the 29-bit entry. This 29-bit entry includes 8 usable addresses, which are from 160 to 167. There are 8 addresses from 160 to 167. If we exclude the network address and the broadcast address, we're left with 161. From 161 to 166. This range includes 165, right? So this route matches. Since this route matches, where do we send the packet? Let's take a look. It's 10.1, 10.5. Now, let's check the interface of this router 1. The address configured on its interface is 10.1, 10.43 with a 30 subnet. A 30 subnet includes only 4 host addresses, out of which only 2 are usable. These 2 are port and point 5. The router itself uses .4, so the other end must be .5. Therefore, the correct way to forward the packet is to send it to interface 2.3. This is the correct and safe answer for this question. Choose B. Let's check the correct answer. Choose B. Alright, next question. For this question, it asks, if we learn a route through multiple routing protocols, what is the rule for adding it to the routing table? We know that the rule for adding routes is for the same routing protocol, it depends on the metric value. For different routing protocols, it depends on A, administrative distance. So what is this A? A refers to this administrative distance, right? The first thing is this distance, administrative distance. So the correct answer to this question is C. Let's check the correct answer. Choose C. All right, let's look at the next question. Question 3 is a multiple choice question. A multiple choice question, right? It says, in OSPF VR, it emphasizes V2. On the active interface of version V2, which 2 minimum parameters must be configured for OSPF to run? What are the 2 essential parameters needed to run OSPF? First, you need a process ID, right? You need a process ID like OSPF1, right? The router OSPF1. And then you also need an area ID. When you declare a network address, after declaring a network address, I need to specify an area ID. Area 0, that's the backbone area. So the correct answers are A and E. And it asks you to choose 2. As for these other things like authentication, you configure them as needed. And the stub area is also configured based on requirements. Are these 2 necessary? Right? Now, regarding option D, where is it wrong? IPv6, because we know that OSPF v2 supports IPv4. So, which protocol supports IPv6? It's OSPF v3. These 2 are not compatible with each other, right? OSPF v3 is a new version specifically designed to support IPv6. So, for this question, the correct answers are A and E. Let's check the correct answers. A and E are selected. Alright, question 4. The fourth question is, let me enlarge it a little bit. There is a diagram for question 4. Let's refer to this diagram. We need to add a sub-interface to the interface 10,000 on this device. add a sub-interface. And for this sub-interface, it needs to allow VLAN 20 to pass through allow VLAN 20, as it says here, and also assign it an IP address. So for this question, the correct answer, since this part is too long, we'll just look at the correct answer. The correct answer is option B. Option B is, first, interface Ethernet 0, 0.2. This is the sub-interface. Then we enter another command here. It's separated then. We enter another command, which is to assign this interface. This command means to assign this interface to handle the VLAN 20 tag. This delta EQ, is equivalent to IEEE 802.1Q, which is the same as VLAN, right? Let it handle the VLAN 20 tag. And after this command is configured, the next command is to assign it an IP address here. Add a 24-bit IP address. So the correct answer is B. Let's look at the correct answer. Choose B. Okay, question 5. Question 5 is relatively simple. The meaning of this question asks us to refer to the diagram. The diagram is a bit small. Refer to this diagram, and then let's suppose we've set up OSPF, and we haven't manually configured the OSPF router ID. In this case, the OSPF protocol will select a router ID, automatically will use the IP address of one of its interfaces as a router ID. There is a specific rule for how it selects this address, which is a selection rule. First of all, this rule is fixed. It will first look at the loopback interface address. So for this question, since it checks the loopback interface address and there is only one loopback interface, it will definitely choose that one. Therefore, the correct answer is C. Next, let's talk about this technique. If it refers to this interface, what if I have another loopback-on, a loopback-on interface? Between these two interface addresses, which one will it use? It will choose the big, it picks the larger address. So if there is no loopback interface, if this interface doesn't exist, and none of these are present, what will it use? It will use these physical interfaces. If there are several physical interface addresses, it will pick the largest one, the one with the highest value, right? These are the invocation rules. Also, it can only use IPv4. If you forget to configure it, its root ID can only use IPv4 because its format is dotted decimal. If you use an IPv6 address and forget to configure the OSPF root ID, then you can't use it, it won't be able to call it. Alright, the correct answer to this question is C. Use the loopback interface address. Choose C. Okay, submit. If you want to learn Cisco technology or want to get Cisco question back, please send me a private message or leave a message below the video for technical exchange.